In the quaint town of Maplewood, the idyllic charm of the neighborhood faded under the shadow of a heated feud between two neighboring households, the Johnsons and the Millers. The Johnsons, a loud and boisterous family, often paraded around in their truck adorned with a Confederate flag, while the Millers could normally be found tending to their immaculate garden filled with roses and a collection of whimsical garden gnomes. The trouble began one crisp autumn morning when both families found themselves vying for the prime public street parking spot directly in front of their homes. The open space, just big enough for a single vehicle, became the centerpiece of their rising tensions. Larry Johnson, known for his raucous laughter and deep Southern drawl, was the first to assert his claim over the coveted space. "I parked my truck here last night, y'all," he bellowed, gesturing dramatically to his rusty pickup, which was in fact parked 5 spaces away. "This here spot's mine till the day I die." On the other side, Betty Miller, a meticulous woman with a fondness for organization in all aspects of her life, was equally adamant. "You can't just claim a public spot, Larry. It's first come, first served, and this morning I had my eye on it for my car." She pointed emphatically at her pristine sedan parked in front of her house, gleaming under the morning sun. As the days passed, the arguments over the parking spot escalated into a full-blown contest. Each family began employing underhanded tactics to secure their claim. The Johnsons would often park their massive truck in the spot and leave it there for hours, as they hosted raucous barbecues in their backyard, where the sounds of country music echoed through the air. Meanwhile, the Millers retaliated by inviting the local lawn care service to work on their yard, blocking the parking space with a truck loaded with tools. But the rivalry took an unexpected turn one weekend when Betty Miller ventured into her garden to retrieve her favorite garden gnome, a rather rotund figure wearing a bright red hat. To her horror, she discovered it missing. "Larry!" she yelled, storming over to the Johnsons' backyard where the laughter and smell of grilling wafted through the air. "You stole my gnome." Larry's hearty laughter subsided as he looked perplexed. "Why would I take your dang gnome? I'm not a thief, Betty. I'm just parking in my spot." But neither side appeared to be backing down. The missing gnome became the focal point of their escalating skirmish, with each family claiming the other was plotting a cover operation to sabotage the other's enjoyment of public space. The feud surged until one chilly evening, when Betty decided she'd had enough. She and her husband, Hank, devised a plan to reclaim their territory. They crafted flyers declaring a neighborship summit to address the parking controversy. After all, their neighborhood was known for its spirit of collaboration. Perhaps they could all resolve the issue amicably. When the day of the summit arrived, the neighborhood gathered in the Millers' backyard. Both families brought their strongest arguments, yet just as the tensions began to rise once more, something unusual caught everyone's attention. A faint giggle erupted from the back garden, followed by the unmistakable sound of shuffling feet. To everyone's surprise, there stood little Timmy Johnson, no more than 6 years old, holding Betty's missing gnome triumphantly above his head. "I found it in our sandbox," he declared, unaware of the uproar he just caused. "It was buried under the toys." A wave of silence washed over the crowd, then, like the popping of a cork, laughter erupted. Betty's shoulders relaxed as she exchanged amused glances with Larry, and a sense of camaraderie began to creep into the air. "Well, looks like we better make room for that little guy in our garden," she chuckled, feeling the tension dissipate. With the gnome safely returned, the atmosphere shifted toward resolution. They decided to draw up a parking schedule and agree to share the street more liberally, recognizing that their quirky little community was worth more than a mere parking spot or even a garden gnome. The Johnsons brought over homemade peach cobbler, and the Millers retaliated with their famous pecan pie. From that day forward, the Johnsons and Millers found themselves working side by side, sharing laughter, stories, and yes, even garden gnomes, embracing each other's eccentricities. The public parking dispute gradually faded into a fond memory, a reminder that, even in the face of absurdity, neighbors can become friends once they take the time to look beyond their differences. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. It makes my crit so hard.